All right, continuity. Here's a lesson. After we were shooting this living room scene where they smoke a joint, which was of course a movie cigarette, I remember telling the actors, please make sure that when you pass on the joint, you always do it at the same spot. You know, when you say a line, a particular line, and you move the joint or pass the joint on to the next person, and then we move the camera around, let's make sure you do the same thing again. Because we cannot have the joint just going around and around completely out of control, because it's going to be a nightmare later on in editing if you want to shoot something and the wrong person has the joint and there is no continuity going on. So everybody was very aware in the first few takes, and then we changed the cameras, we did a close-up, and the joint was going around, and then we moved to a two-shot whatever, and the joint was going around again from the beginning of the scene, and it was kind of getting out of control. And of course I could not pay attention to every single detail because I had to watch the acting and the framing and all that stuff. So later on in editing, just as predicted, it was it was a challenge to cut this scene together. We ultimately succeeded, yes, but we had to really be very creative to get around to make sure that we don't see the joint going to the wrong person and then cut around, and then suddenly the person does not have the joint anymore, even though they just got the joint. And so we had to do a lot of editing, creative editing, you know, to make it work. But that's one lesson I will take with me and stress even more next time when I shoot a movie or direct a movie, to really make sure the actors do the same thing. Not delivering the lines the same, they can have creative freedom when it comes to that, but when it comes to picking up a glass or passing on a joint or putting your hand on the chin, you know, it's got to be the same. Because if you're always like this and then the next take you're going to be like this, how are you going to cut this together? Because your hand is always going to do this then, you know. So very important lesson. Glad I learned it, and glad that it still worked out, but something to remember.